Happy Wednesday. I got Bodie here today. What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. So
I
yeah,
got
I
to give a
want
quick shout out to Tootie Cookies. Oh man, dummied the box that I got within like 2 days. It was stupid. I think I skipped out on my meals. Like I think I turned down a steak dinner for the cookies. That's
I
how
believe
good they are.
they're like a meal replacement, man. I swear.
Yeah, the white macadamia nut. Oh my
Oh, that one's
gosh,
good.
man, I'm still thinking about that one.
I'll have to send you some more, man. She crushes that one. I love that one. It's so good. It's funny because like I had my office and she's taken it over completely now. So I have this little corner right here. This is me. Everything else like completely taken over everything else. And I'm looking at like my bar, my tables, all that stuff is all just covered in cookies right now.
So you can smell it. It constantly smells
Yeah.
like cookies in your office.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So because this became her fulfillment center basically. So she bakes in a commercial kitchen, packages everything, and then this is where she like does the shipping labels and all that stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you get any work done? How are you focused?
It's funny, man. I don't eat them that much because like she's been making them for like 20 years. So like
Yeah.
I've always had them, and now yeah, I don't have them as much as I used to, which is a good thing on everything, right? They're not small.
No.
So, but yeah, did you see Kay had a awesome success with one? She had a seller that was like only wants to work with her now because of some cookies. It's nuts. It's
I need
insane.
to take advantage of that. I really want to start
Everybody
implementing
does.
that. Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
does. It's dude. It's a way to stand out. It's simply put. I'm not just saying that just because it's my wife's company, but like I'm saying that because it literally puts you on a different level with sellers. When
Right.
people are just trying to 90-day double close everything and all that stuff, then you send them a box of cookies and a little handwritten note and all this stuff. You just look like a different person, and
Hmm.
it puts you in a different light. So it's not for like bulk, like let me send 1,000 of them. No, but it's like re-engaging, getting that person on your side. If you're just on the edge, that's
Right.
that's what I use it for. It works. It works every time. So
Awesome.
we got this we got this subdivide deal potentially. Seller called us, said we were too low. So I'm packaging up. She's got a bunch of heart-shaped cookies for Valentine's Day. So I'm packaging up 6 of those cookies for her. And
Oh,
she's
that's
this
smart.
little old lady in Texas. So I'm going to mail her out some cookies and stuff like that. And she's on the edge. She doesn't trust people. But I think getting a box of cookies with the handwritten notes to her, that trust is there.
As soon as it hits the lips,
Yep. Yep.
that's when she calls you.
That's exactly it. So we'll have to see. But yeah, man, I wanted to talk to you today about like your business and everything like that. And we also wanted to talk about the Facebook group and stuff like that. If you guys don't know about it, we have um, a Leah Facebook group now that we
Hmm.
want everybody to hop in and join. So you're a mod in that group, right?
Yeah, I'm an admin. I'm going to be pushing out content in there. So the group is Land Investing Accelerated. You can find that on Facebook.
Nice. There we go. Facebook groups.land investing accelerated. Boom. Hop in there. It's worth it. I love Facebook for certain reasons. I don't love it for other reasons, but I love it because you could like ask a question, create a thread. And the thing that makes this thing work is being active in there. So like
Hmm.
actually like going in there, commenting, creating threads, all that stuff. And we're gonna start streaming these. We'll have to set this up through StreamYard. We're gonna start streaming these videos, our weekly lives, into there as well. This way we have
Oh, sweet.
content going in there as well.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll have to get with you to set that up. But we're not here about Leah today. We're here about you. So
Mhm.
we want to talk about your business, what you got going on, things you're struggling with, and what can we do to make it better.
Yeah. So right now, I would say the biggest challenge for me, my business, is pricing.
Mm.
And even though I've sent out mailers already, and I felt confident with them, um, I guess my confidence rises when as the end of the month approaches, and I'm like, I just need to get it out. But when you reset
So
at the
true.
beginning of the month, it's yeah, it's like, oh man, okay, let me take some more time with this, and then the time passes, and you're like, all right, I just got to get it out. But yeah, I feel like when I look at certain markets, or when I'm removing my outliers, it I don't know. Sometimes the data just looks scary. I
Hmm.
don't want to act, you know. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of confusion sometimes. So yeah, I was hoping we could go through a market that I've already priced it out, but
Hmm.
I want to kind of see if I'm doing the right things there within that market. So I think we're looking at Lawrence County in South Carolina.
Okay, sweet. I'll pull that one up. Now, one thing I do too is like I'll go through, I'll price everything, and Sumner's talked about this too before. What he does is he prices it, puts his computer down, walks away, and then comes back like the next day and looks at it again and sees if
Okay.
it makes sense. So what I do is this: I price a county, and then I scroll through the list randomly, and I pull a couple properties. I'll pull a property up, and I'll pull it up as if it's a lead that just came into my system, and I'll see like, okay, does this property make sense at the price we offered? What's the exit price? And I'll
Hmm.
look at it and I'll look at the comps, I'll see what's sold in the area. And if it doesn't make sense, and I do that for like 3, 4 times, like there's something wrong here. I got to check that out, right? But if I look at like say 5 properties and 4 out of 5 look great, send it, right? Full send. But if I'm looking at like, 2 out of 5 properties look good, I should probably look at my pricing again and I should adjust something, right? Um, so I do that all the time. So that's one like quick tip. If you guys are pricing a market, before you hit send to RPM or whatever, pretend you got like 5 deals in from that county and comp them real quick and just see how it comes out. Whatever your comping tool is, however your process is, do the exact same thing as if a lead came in. Boom. Let's see what it works out as. Do you do that now, or is that something that you might start implementing?
Yeah, no, not at the moment. I'm going to start implementing that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's definitely worth doing. I love it, and I've taught my team to do the same thing, and it helps get stuff out because we pick up all kinds of things. We realize like, oh man, we totally messed up on this one. Um, okay, so let's look at Lawrence County. So Lawrence County, the let's take a look at this guy. So I've mailed this county before, so I know it. The thing is, you got to look. Let's first like zoom out high level. Where is Lawrence County, right? Now, Lawrence County, we have a couple different things going on in this market. This market's pretty interesting because it's kind of like this is a path of growth market. So what's going to happen eventually is like this northwestern corner is going to run a lot higher than stuff over here and stuff out here. So if you blanket price stuff like the whole county, you're going to be way off up here, and these are going to be like you're basically going to be too low in this whole region and too high in this region. Okay. So when we look at this county alone, you have this portion right here, which is kind of more mountainous. See the darker green? It's going to be more mountainous. All this area right here, closer to this white area, which is Greenville, if you don't know, Greenville is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Right now, the amount of like rentals, multifamily things that are being built out here is insane, and also this whole area too, Spartanburg and all that. And what's happening too, this market is so all along here too, all along this highway, because Greenville is growing so fast. Columbia County and anything in between, this starts to become a transitory area, right? So people driving, yeah. Juan lives there. Juan, is it like that there? Is Greenville like growing like crazy, like I'm talking about? Um, but this whole area, 26 and 385, like all this becomes transitory. So stuff along this highway is going to sell for a little bit more because people want to buy, like a 10-acre parcel, throw a house on it, and they want to drive an hour into their
Right.
city, whatever. And same here, it's like an hour and a half, whatever. Or this might just be like some rec area. Stuff that's more off the beaten path, like in this area, is going to trade for a little bit less, and the mountainous area is going to trade a little bit less, things like that. So when you go to blanket price this stuff, it's super hard. It really is.
Hmm.
Um, so what you got to kind of do is let's take a look at this right now. Let's see what the land looks like. Now, from a simple standpoint, if you just go land sold, let's go last year. Actually, let's go 2 years, just see if we see any differences. And we'll just put an acreage range like 5 to 10. So we've had 86 homes sell, right? Now let's see if what I was talking about kind of stands up. So all here, Lawrence right here, that's priced a little higher just because it's more of like a little city. All along here, you can see like a couple comps here are higher. So what we're basically looking at, like I'm looking to see, is there a big price disparity between certain portions of the county, right? You see a bunch of sales happening along the water here, all along here, right? So you could almost pull out this section right here as a separate quadrant, and I would even like circle this, the whole thing outside of the county as well, and price this as its own little area, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing. That's going to be priced a little bit different. And then let's look here. So we got, I'm just kind of seeing what things are trading for. Let's adjust some of these filters. Let's go 3 to 5. All right. So this is a tighter range, so it would give us a good indicator. 3 to 5. So for some reason, this little triangle right here, if you look at here, Hickory Tavern, over out to here, 385, like all this stuff kind of trades a little bit more. You're seeing, 161, 62, 60,
Right.
120s. It's kind of hard. There's no real rhyme or reason. This is a tough county to price. I'll be honest with you. Then we look out here, we got 24s, 50s, 60s, 12Ks. So this is trading a lot less out here. You're 60K, somebody did a subdivision. So 5K an acre, 5K, so you got 12K an acre, right? They just did a little subdivision out there. Let's see what these are doing.
Actually, while we're talking about the subdivision there,
yeah,
that's another thing is I find, sometimes I'll see a subdivision and the values are a lot higher. Whoever owned it might have done some improvements to it aside from splitting. And so that might be the only piece of data that I see within that acreage range, or either that or in a zip code. Do you typically like consider keeping those in, or would you remove that from the set?
A lot of times I will remove subdivisions if it's like, if I look at the subdivision, they have restrictions, then a lot of times I want to remove that because those restrictions sometimes increase value, right?
Okay.
Even though your buyer pool shrinks because now it's got restrictions, usually the value increases a little bit depending on the HOA and what they're actually doing. If it has an HOA, all that stuff, or just CCNRs. The reason why is because that thing might say like, hey, no mobile homes, no this, no that. They're going to have restrictions on it, right? So then the value goes up because people know like, okay, if I build a house here and like everything around me is all like vacant land, I know that nobody else is going to come in and put a mobile home and decrease my value, right?
Right.
If the CCNRs say like, hey, you could only build a stick-built over 1,500 square foot house in this area, then what happens is all the values start going up, right? So that land might sell for a little bit more, a couple thousand an acre more than something else outside of an HOA. So might be good to either price that separately, that little area, or remove that from your data set entirely. Okay. So like, I mean, here too, like this, a lot of this doesn't even make sense. Like why some of it's selling for more, right? So 5 acres, serene tree, blah, 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 clear, purple building your house, stream home. Sold for 21K an hectare. Okay, so septic permit in hand and well as well. So they have the septic and permit, like everything is perk tested, septic, all that stuff. So that's why it sold for a little bit more. Probably would have sold for like 80 without that stuff. This one's got structures on it. I mean, RV, whatever. It comes with a bunch of stuff, a couple of structures, which this probably already has septic, water, power, all that stuff. And it comes with a lawnmower, everything. So that's why this one sold for more. So like I would remove that from my data set. Let's see here. So 4 acres. Looking for a perfect place. Stream home. Look further. 4 acres. Lawrence County. Peaceful, quiet. No county. See, like no county zoning restrictions right there. So you could build whatever you want. Drop a mobile home. Do whatever you want. You want to just put like a 200 square foot little whatever on it. You could totally do that too. Well, what that does, it actually is going to decrease the value everywhere else, right? So if you bought a lot right here in this area and you're like, okay, cool, I want to try to sell this for whatever, but your value is going to go down because of these right here. Unless it had deed restrictions in the area. So here's somebody that parceled this stuff off. Sold for $18K an acre.
Is there another way to find that information, restrictions, or will we just have to look at the listing?
You'd have to look at, like, if it's in a subdivision, you'd have to then look up the actual like subdivision name and check out what their restrictions and things are.
Okay.
It's just a quick Google search, or just like ask ChatGPT, say, hey, look up this subdivision. It's Lawrence, South Carolina. Tell me what the deed restrictions are.
Okay.
And it'll typically look them up, and then you can find them. It'll usually say like what the subdivision or something like that is. Like I was just going, so subdivision name, Stewart Farms Estates. Try this. So chat. Let's go here. Okay, so in Lawrence County, SC, can you look up the deed restrictions on this subdivision? This is a great tool. If nobody has like the paid version of chat, it's awesome. Because it could search the internet and stuff like that. For $20 a month, it's so worth it.
I use it religiously.
It's
for
just
everything.
It's just a great tool, man. Honestly, it's like one of the like hacks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Further since deed restrict. Okay, so here it gives you the things. So I could start looking into this if I wanted. Whatever. Accept. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so this is just the regular deed book, but whatever. But yeah, I would look into that. Like I would look up the subdivision, see what the restrictions are. If it says like stick built only, whatever, then obviously the property is going to sell for a little bit more.
Okay.
So things like that. Now, this one doesn't have like a true disparity in the market. Like a lot of times we'll see, like I do see like Northern right here, a couple more selling for a little bit more, 205, 120, you know, things like that. But nothing too crazy. Let's check out what Land Insights is saying.
So you prefer to break it down by quadrants, you know, what might be closest to specific highways or inner cities rather than going by zip code?
You could do, if you look at it and you're like, okay, the zip code is, you know, pretty solid here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll break it up by zip codes. If it's like you could see like a big disparity in the zip code itself. But I always do like an investigation on the market itself, and I want to see where I'm seeing big differences. And if it's by the zip, great. If it's just by specific like main things like along highways, things like that, then that's what I'm going to break it up by. So you got 15K, 14K an acre. Let me make sure I don't have anything. Let's do. And what size are you mailing here?
Going 5 and up.
Okay. I always, if I'm going to mail 5 and up, I'll still look at 3s because they're usually pretty close and will show me some differences. And sometimes I will look back 2 years because those differences don't change too much year over year. What changes is maybe like the price per acre goes up a little bit. Yeah, so you got 5K an acre just sold. 32K an acre listed. See, these are all listed, so I don't trust that. Yeah, 4K, 20K. Yeah, so when I'm looking at this, I'd say a lot of this stuff, if we're going to pull this, let's go back to the 4 to 10s again. When I would do this county, I'd probably go like this. I'd probably take my comps and I'd say, I would go, I don't know. All right, Lawrence. So I'd probably take my comps and I would draw. Deleted all my information here. Lot size 4 to 10. Okay, cool. I would draw out like a line like right here in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And just go, okay, here's my comps for this quadrant. And then pull these. And then I would go down to like the rest of the county. I'd look at this and say, okay, where's my other quadrant? I'd probably say like, okay, maybe this quadrant would be priced a little bit different. That's only 3 months. It's 2 years. So yeah, I would probably price this entirely different all around the lake. I would price probably kind of like around this highway area. I would pull comps for this area just specifically from Aura up to Fountain Inn, all around here. I would price that separately. Actually, I'd probably drag this into here too, come down to Hickory Haven, this whole triangle, and come around this way, right there. I'd price that as one quadrant. I'd price this probably all as one quadrant. And maybe around this area. What's this? 13 acres. So 5K an acre, yeah. Yeah, I'd probably price down here as a separate quadrant, and then this is the fourth quadrant right here. So I look at a market and I say, okay, where are there some like really good delineations in this market? Like why is different stuff trading for different prices in this area? And then I'd separate those out, and then like that's how I'd price it. So instead of going by zip code, because sometimes there could be 10 or 12 zip codes in like one county, and it's like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just go by quadrants, break it up into 4 spots, 3 spots, 2 spots, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And then you build out comp groups. So like we've done this market twice before. Let me see if I have search. Okay, so let me see if she has the whole thing. Yeah, so she broke it up into 4 quadrants. See, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she does this is what Michelle does. So she'll do that. And then she assigns each property. When she pulls the data and then marks it as like a specific quadrant. And it'll say zip group. So whatever the comp group is, she'll figure out what the comp group is. And then everyone that gets pulled in gets a specific comp group. So you're almost pricing 4 different markets in one mailer in a way, right? And then she stacks it all together right here. So you can see the big difference. Like group 1 to group 2 is 12,000 an acre to 20,000 an acre, right? And then this group to this group is 10 to 12. This group 16 to 10. And then it continues. Like that change kind of continues as the size goes bigger too.
Right.
It evens out like the 100 acres, but still it does have some pretty big differences. So then what I would do here is like I'll come into this. Oh, and she's actually only showing one comp group right now. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, she's only showing the primes. So here we go. Okay. So here's the whole market priced completely, everything. So I'll take a random one. I'll copy this. Let's go. Insights. You could do land insights, or you could do land ID, whatever you want to use. Actually, you know what? Let's use land insights. So I could just check the comps right there. Parcel ID, Warrens. Okay, there's the parcel. This is under contract, 5 acres for 14K an acre. This one I just selected. We're pricing at 12K an acre.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. Great. So that's under contract for 14K an acre. So it might be selling at 12K an acre. That's pending.
Mm-hmm.
You got 11K an acre right here. And we're priced at 12K an acre. So that's one. I'll take another one here. And I'll just comp these real quick. And I'll check. And if I see something wrong, then it's like, okay, something's wrong here. Let's go back. Why is this comp group higher?
Mm-hmm.
So you got, this is listed for 26. This is 5-acre parcel again. $10 acres, 5 acres for $35K an acre. So these are selling like crazy. 7 acres for $35K an acre. We are at $20K an acre on this one. Let's see.
Something specific on it? Maybe there's a structure on the property, or
yeah, with these, it looks like it could have been like a subdivision in a way. Yeah, it looks like they chopped up a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they did a subdivision. Yeah. South Carolina has a 5-acre exemption, if you don't know. So, yeah, right here. Public water available. Internet, rollback taxes, buyers, okay. Yeah, so they have some different things in there. But that's probably, where is this too? This is close to Greenville too.
Mm-hmm.
Greenville's right here. So there you go. So that's another reason why that was priced more. So I'll go here and then I'll go up in an acreage range. Maybe I'll go, right here. So look at your sheet. Where are you kind of at in pricing? Because you said you priced this market already.
Yeah, I did. I think I'm way off, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I divided up by zip code, and then I just started getting confused on it. I started using ChatGPT to create like formulas or fill in, the acreage ranges that I couldn't find data for.
Sure.
And it was just all over the place. So and there's a lot of zip codes too. So a lot of empty zip codes that I don't have pricing for.
Yeah, so I would just combine that with another zip if I don't have a lot. Or if there's no activity in that zip code, then it's like maybe don't market to that zip code.
What I'll do is, or what I've thought about doing is just picking the closest county next to it. But I mean, like if it's in between two, or sorry, not county, zip codes. Yeah. If it's like in between two zip codes, one's higher than and the other one's lower, then I mean, that's a little bit more difficult. So I think I definitely like this dividing it up by quadrant and based on what features or attractions might be closer, like a lake or city, something like that.
That's what we do a lot of. I'm trying to find an older one that we had. Campaigns are probably here. Oh, that's not it. We had, let's go scrub. Oh no, let's go price. Comps, hyper granular, pending market selection. Let's see, maybe hyper granular. Some of these, no, that's not it. There's certain pockets where she does she'll draw a map on it. Let's see if she does it here. No. There you go. Yeah, she'll actually go in here and like find little specific pockets of stuff and like, okay, pull these out. Anything in this area, I'm going to price differently.
Okay.
Yeah, see down here is a different pricing. So she changed that. Northern. So it gets like really tough, honestly. It's not easy. Like this is not every day. Like you don't do this for every market. But markets that are like kind of like pricing that's all over the place, you're going to have to kind of break it up. So she'll take the county, draw it, say, okay, this pocket right here, we're going to price this way. And this is the comps for it. And then she'll select them. And then she'll create a comp group for it. She's 90 leagues past me. I don't know half of what she does anymore. Because she's just pretty good. So It's tough, man. She does like stuff that I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying anymore.
Just trust me, Dennis. I
Yeah,
got
that's
it.
basically it. She's good. I trust her with everything. You know, her pricing is always good. All this stuff, she's rocks. That's why getting a good VA that like, not necessarily a VA that's amazing in real estate, but just somebody who's amazing on sheets and understands like pricing. That's what you really need. You
Hmm.
need somebody that's amazing at using like Google Sheets and all this stuff and like a rock star at it. Um, I mean, she's got like, man, she's got where is this? We had a granular.
Is she pricing out markets before doing all the scrubbing and stuff? I'm assuming she would, just to save time, right?
She does. We'll price the market. We'll see what's going on in the market first. Before, yeah. So here you go. So this is what she does. So she'll pull all this stuff. Oh, actually, it's funny. Here's Lawrence County. So these are the 3 quadrants she created.
Right.
So here, low PPA, medium PPA, high PPA. So she basically takes them and says, okay, what's the high PPAs and what are the zip groups? And then she breaks it up into different zip groups. So she'll go here, like, so this zip, you can't even go by zip in this county because this zip is actually split into 2.
Right.
So by going by zip, you're actually overpricing or underpricing half of the county. So it's not even right if you do that. So like you have to kind of break this up really entirely. And she kind of circles it around, and then she'll take this map, and when she's on like Redfin, she'll circle all the comps in this little area, and then pulls that data. When she goes to Land Insights or Land Vision to pull data, she'll draw those comps out and prices that out and marks it as like comp group 1, and then she does all that stuff. And then yeah, you could see like there's a double in some of these counties. See 645, right side of the highway, 645, left side of the highway.
Yeah.
So this is how you get like really good at pricing, is by breaking this stuff up into these quadrants and then taking that and then going from there. So here I'll make a copy. I'm going to share this with you. Just to use as a reference. So like when you're pricing, you can understand like what she was doing. I don't think there's any data in here. Good and prime. Oh yeah, here's all the good and prime properties too. And that's just a good.
This is a whole different game.
Oh
in
yeah,
terms of pricing, eh?
we've gone miles deep in pricing. I sent it to you in the private chat, so you have that link. So
Cool.
you can take this out and like kind of go through it and like see if it makes sense to you.
Okay.
And there's data here too if you want to take it. I don't really care. It's all like these are actually this is already scrubbed too. So good and prime only. So I don't even know if that's Lawrence County. No, this is Rockwall, North Carolina. Never mind.
This is great, honestly. Thank you for sharing this, because I wouldn't even thought of it.
Yeah,
getting this granular and with the pricing and evaluating markets like this.
Yeah, man, it helps. So what she'll do is like each county we move into, she does this exactly and like does the comp analysis and goes through it and like reviews all this stuff. And I presented to her, I'm like, hey, I want to start breaking stuff into quadrants. She's like, okay. She went away, like I didn't hear from her for like a week, and she came back with this whole process. I'm like, lovely, go for it. And that really helped us get better with our pricing. So this is super helpful. What else do we have? We have
how long does it take her from start to finish to work on one market, say like, pricing it out and then scrubbing and preparing the mail, all that?
Okay,
does she handle all that?
No, I have 3 people. Okay. So we have step 1 is like we scrub. So we have like all scrubbing that goes in here too. So they'll come in here. She assigns everybody a scrubbing template, and they go in like they'll scrub everything. Mm-hmm. So these are all scrubbed parcels right here, and then we'll go into pricing. Pricing, she has comps compilation. Comps compilation is pretty intensive. She pulls the comps for each county. but then creates like a long-term sheet for it so that we could always go back and like check this sheet out. And like we know like this specific area, what it was trading for. So she could just come in here and hit like V lookup and then link back to this sheet specifically so that she doesn't have to go pull the data again. So she creates like a master file of comps and stuff like that. And puts it in here. And I also think she does it into our KPI sheet. Let's see. Direct mail. Let's go county pricing. Let me see this real quick. So we got.
Luis has a question here, it looks like.
What's up, man? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is crazy. So this is our county pricing master sheet. And this is where she puts a lot of our VLOOKUP stuff in. So she could use this as like a like look up old data and whatever. So you can see we have all the counties she's building the sheet as we go. We only started this in September, I think, something like that. And she's building like a master sheet of what we were pricing everything as. So what the price points are, all that stuff, what we mailed, everything. So like this is cool, like a KPI to track. Is kind of adding stuff like this in.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
Where did she go? How did she come up with this?
She just wants to make life easier. What justifies the price in the land shown on market? So what justifies the price of land shown on market? Luis, what justifies? Let me see. The land shown on market. I mean, basically, when somebody's trying to list a property, realtor's going to say, "Hey, it's worth X, Y, and Z," right? Or whoever's going to say it's worth that. But really, what justifies price is recent sales. That's what's going to justify a price. So if you see the recent sales are selling for, like this person has their property listed for 99 acres for 22,000 an acre. But like we look, there's nothing that's sold. Nothing that's selling for 22,000 an acre in that area. Look, 10,000 an acre. So it's never going to sell. Like that's not going to be a true comp. They're just reaching at that point. They're just trying to get what they could get. Mm-hmm. See how long it's been on market. Where is it? Price history unavailable. Cool. Did say it's on market, right?
Active, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you put the address in, maybe find it on Redfin?
Yeah, let me see. We have lots houses only, lots land, supply. Yeah, 2.8 million. There it is. I think it's because it was on houses only. So this has probably been on market for a while. Where they just listed it. Yeah, date on market 10/16. I mean, that's not that long, but this will probably sit here for a very long time. I mean, judging by the look of it, it's got a long road coming down it. So like it's got potential, but I don't see this being worth 22,000 an acre as is. This is probably worth 22,000 an acre subdivided and parceled out.
Right.
Not as is. So that'll never happen. 119 days on Zillow. And see, look at the view to save ratio, super low. 145 views in 119 days is not good.
Mm-hmm.
We get 145 views the first day we list the property, So, yeah, they're way overpriced. Here's another one.
Looking for a specific buyer with that.
Yeah. Look, 113 views, 2 saves. That's not a good view to save ratio. Mm-hmm. It should be 10% to be pretty good. Along a highway, nothing really great. That's not that great of a property either. That's why it's going to be like that. So like realtor just sold them on a date and they're like, oh yeah, we could sell this property. No problem. It probably will never happen. Cool. So does that help clarify like kind of like pricing wise, like kind of why we do things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I wasn't even honestly factoring in all this. Really just trying to keep it basic, but yeah, for some specific markets, it looks like you have to get a little bit more granular
Yes.
and really focus on certain parts of the market.
Yeah, and if you like, there are certain markets you don't have to do this at all, right? Things with a low Gini score, things that like are really homogenous, you don't even have to worry about it. It's when it's like you're looking at specific areas and like you're seeing stuff, especially closer to major metros, stuff is always going to trade way higher, right? That's path of growth. That's obvious. It's gonna trade way more because of that. So always you have to kind of break it up. And then also too, like some counties border like water and stuff like that. Water properties always trade for more. So you should probably separate those out and price them independently. The more accurate you could be on your pricing going out, the more deals you're going to end up getting.
Right.
So
what about markets where there's like water just kind of running through the whole market? Maybe it's broken up. There's like small lakes like here, over there, kind of all over. So the pricing is just constant. It's just different, like all around. Would you avoid a market like that, or would you, again, do the same thing here and like break that down by specific quadrants? I guess it really depends on how the opportunity there, right, and how hot it is. Yeah.
It depends on you and how seasoned you are with things. Like if you're okay with taking the time and taking one county and pricing it out like a bunch of different ways, then do it, right? But if you're just like, I got to get mail out, then go to a more homogenous market. Don't try to, like, that's another thing people make a mistake on. They're like, I'm close enough on this market, but it's so like different. There's different pockets all over the place. Just move on to a different market. People will just say, I'm close enough. I'll just mail it out. I'll probably get one deal out of it. And then they just wasted, 2,500 mailers instead of just picking a more homogenous market and just going with that. It's the same thing with like mountainous markets. Like typically, if you're looking at a mountain, like the stuff that's up here doesn't really trade that well, but the stuff that's here, like the roads running here, this stuff trades better because you can build a house that overlooks everything. This stuff you have to dig into a mountain to be able to do anything with. This stuff actually trades way lower than the stuff on the downhill side of a mountain road. So like when you're scrubbing, like you almost want to mark downhill mountain as one and uphill mountain as another, and then only mail the downhill mountain stuff. So, but a lot of people just say, I'll take it all, clump it all together, mail it. And then whatever comes in, comes in.
Yeah.
But what happens then is you're taking the uphill mountain comps and then pricing your downhill mountain comps. And now you're too low on this one and too high on this one. So instead of just taking the time and tracing the road out and separating the two entirely and then mailing it. Does it take more time? Freaking absolutely it does. But it's worth it in the long run because once you do it once, you own that data forever. You can mail that county till the end of time.
Right.
Like that. I know there's like great tools, like Land Insight has great tools to scrub and all this stuff. I still manually scrub. And the reason why I manually scrub is no AI can look at that and tell me that stuff. But somebody pulling a parcel, like they literally, my team takes a property, we pull it, we open up each individual parcel in Land ID and do a 3D look at it and check it out. And then we mark it on a scale of 1 to 20 with all different parameters. And each one has a different parameter, whatever. But once I do that, I own it forever. Like there's no changing that parcel is not going to change its location. So I could go back, mail it anytime I want, and I'm still in a good spot. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So what else you got for me?
Oh, I honestly, I think that's it. That's really the only area that I'm kind of struggling right now. I'm sure I'll be back on another live soon. As something else comes up, but yeah, I really want to get started on getting a VA to be like Michelle. So
she's one in a million. I don't know. She's hard to find. I gotta say, she's awesome. She's really hard to find now. It's actually crazy. I've lucked out, and I have two really good rock stars right now. I got Michelle and Jenny. Jenny's awesome. She's just as good as Michelle. And I think it might be that Michelle's been teaching Jenny. But what I did for both of them, and this is one tip, like what I do is like if I'm going to hire a VA, especially for scrubbing and things like that, I take a task and I go in and I create a Loom video and I say, hey, this is the task, and I do a trial period. Basically, I take it, I put it in Upwork, whatever the case may be, wherever you want to try to source a VA, put it in Upwork and say, hey, this is what I need you guys to do. Here's the thing. And anybody that applies to that job, I send them a test file that I've already pre-scrubbed or whatever, but it's like for them it's raw and they're gonna have to go scrub it. They go and they scrub it, and if they get the same results as me, okay, that's a check. They're good.
Yeah.
If they do like the other little things I asked them to do, like change the name on top to how many minutes it took you to do this, and do this, how many good parts did you find? Like do these little tips and tricks, like little things like that. If they do follow all directions and then do the work pretty much the same as I do, then like great. And then what I did is I sent that out. I had like 80 people apply. I think like 50 people did the trial. I ended up hiring 5 of them. And then I brought 5 people on for 10 hours a week. And I gave them all scrubbing tasks. And then Michelle was actually, it was funny because Michelle was actually the worst performer. She was like taking longer than anybody else. And I messaged her, I'm like, hey, everything okay? Just curious, like, everybody's like kind of fishing up, but you're taking a little longer. And she's like, yeah, I don't like the way you had everything set up, so I'm redoing everything, but it'll be done soon. So I was just like, okay, I like you.
Yeah.
She didn't like it, so she just like made it better, right? And I knew right away, I'm like, okay, this one's a standout. So I took her on, I hired her full time, and then I had another guy I hired full time, and he was decent, but then he kept like disappearing on me. So I ended up letting him go, but then I did the same thing again when I was looking for Jenny. I hired another person like that, and she came on. She did the same thing, and then slowly but surely, I've been adding like different tasks for her to do, and Jenny just takes them with a smile. Like she's awesome. She just crushes it now, and she's so confident in the pricing and the scrubbing and all that stuff. That Michelle's like taught her all this stuff, and she just crushes it. She's like Michelle's number 2. Now
Batman Robin.
Yeah, I'm training number 3 right now, so we'll see how number 3 goes. But look, 3's looking good too. So, rock stars train rock stars, man. So once you find one, then that team just builds itself. It's really easy. So
yeah, I like that idea. Sending a Loom video within your job posting.
It makes so much sense because now there's no they know exactly what you're asking for. So that's why I do that. It really helps. People self-select themselves out too, because if they're not going to do it, whatever. And that's the other thing too is like people who have to do free trials. Like it should be like a scrubbing process that I sent is like a 10-minute interview in a way. Like if you can't do that 10-minute interview, then what's the point? So a lot of people self-select out. They're like, oh, I don't do free work. It's like it's not free work. It's an interview. So if they won't do that, then let them go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I do. And it works, man. It definitely works a lot. So cool, man. So tell us what you, and we're going to wrap up because I got to go pick up the kids, but what do you do for Land Insights?
So I joined the team a few weeks ago. Really wearing multiple hats right now, but trying to get people on board with it. As my name shows in Discord there, I'm the Land Insights Zealot. So it's I'm really just getting out there, educating folks on it, and also started this Facebook group, Land Investing Accelerated. So me posting a lot of content on how we're all using Land Insights in our business today. So market selection, I'll go through that, scrubbing as well, comping, just so everyone can get a sense of like how the tool works and really see the value in it. Man, it's honestly life-changing. It makes it so much easier. And it's crazy. I talk to so many folks on a daily basis, and they're just dreading all that time and effort and selecting a market. It takes like on average like 8.7 hours a week.
Hmm.
That's just way too much time. If you on a monthly basis, that's almost a full work week. So it's like,
Yeah.
you really have to weigh your options and see where it makes sense to invest in a software that's going to take all that headache out.
Hmm.
So
I love
yeah,
it. Yeah, we use it for all our market selection. It's awesome. Something that used to take us a lot of time and money is now like a simple like, okay, here, just go. Because
yeah,
I did what Land Insights does, but I had a team of two that basically every single day that's all they did was take comps, put it into the thing, and let me know like, okay, this is the stuff that's happening in this market. And they would update that sheet every day.
yeah.
And if you look at the 90-day program, that's what I did. I had a team, I had people that were helping me do it. And it was a lot. And it would cost me like $2,000 a month, like just hiring people to do it for me.
Hmm.
So this was a time saver and a money saver.
Right.
Well, and now I'm like, I could go above and like kind of pick markets. And that's the other thing too, is you don't have to follow like, let's go for the hots of the hots. You could just go and like say, okay, let me just find a good market based on a couple parameters and then go for that market. And then all it does is just like, maybe it doesn't pick the market, it gives you a guiding light, like, hey, go here, go look at this. And then that's when you like
Hmm.
really dig it. So
Yeah, and that's a crazy amount to spend on a monthly basis too.
yeah. Yeah.
And
It
then
was.
you also have to factor in like potential human error.
Yeah.
Um, because sometimes Redfin gets a little bit finicky, and it's like you think you have the right data, and then you're like, oh, actually, I didn't have the acreage range set, correctly here, and then you got to go back and fix it. So
Or putting a one, like putting a 1-0 instead of just a one somewhere,
yeah,
or like two ones. Now you're like, oh my God, the STR here is crazy.
yeah,
And it's like way off. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some issues, but no, it's definitely saves a lot of time and a lot of money too.
hmm,
Um, yeah, it's good, and also like you could go down to the granular level, like do the zip codes and do all that stuff. So it's awesome.
yeah.
So,
And the
yeah.
scrubbing inside of it's quite nice too. There's a lot of new features coming out for it. And I'm like you, I like to do it manually as well. Even
Mhm.
though there's some AI options in there, um, I'll still go in there manually and do it. But man, it just makes it so much easier with the topo feature as
Yeah.
well. So you can really get granular and save a lot of money on your mailers too. To
Yeah.
avoid that, right? If you're looking at like Tennessee or some of those mountainous states.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. You could save a lot of money, also a lot of time. I mean, I spend a lot scrubbing, and I know I could save money. We're right now. It costs my team to manually scrub about 3 cents a record to manually scrub. I could probably save money, probably save time, and they could do different things. I could shrink my team down. I could do all that stuff. But the way I look at it, I'm like, every single county I do, I categorize that data and I'll have it. So it's once I've basically categorized all the counties, like what else do I have left? I'm like, I'm good. I got all my data forever,
Yeah,
everything categorized.
yeah,
So yeah.
that's so true.
Awesome. So well, cool, man. It was nice having you on. We'll have to bring it back on again. I'd be curious to see how you do with this market once you mail it, and then we'll take it from there.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, look up for the Facebook, and we'll get you out on there and start pushing some lives out there.
Let's do it, man. I'm down. I'll have to link it up to StreamYard and we'll start streaming it there as well. I
Sweet.
gotta reach out to Juan and have him make me a admin over there too. So,
No, I can set you up in that.
oh sweet, yeah,
I'll do
set
it
me up
now.
on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome, brother.
Cool.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks,
All
man.
right.
I'll see you soon.
See ya.
Later. Have a good one.